Have you ever had a moment where a conversation spiraled out of control, leaving both sides hurt and misunderstood? I remember a heated argument I once had with a close friend. We both passionately defended our points of view, but the conversation quickly turned into a clash of egos. Words were exchanged that we didn't mean, and by the end, the misunderstanding felt deeper than ever. Later, as I reflected, I realized something crucial. I had let my emotions take over, and worse, I hadn't truly listened. Moments like these make us question: how can we communicate better? How can we express our ideas clearly and confidently while maintaining harmony in our relationships? In this video, we'll uncover how Stoic philosophy offers practical solutions to these challenges. We'll explore how to manage anxiety in tough conversations, speak with clarity and purpose, and truly listen to create meaningful connections. You'll learn actionable steps to stay calm, focused, and effective in any interaction. By the end, you'll not only have the tools to transform your communication, but also a deeper understanding of how to connect with others authentically. So, if you're ready to unlock the secrets of Stoicism to improve your daily life, stay tuned. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Stoic Narratives Official, and join us on this journey of growth and wisdom. Let's dive in. 1. Understanding communication through Stoicism. Communication is far more than simply talking. At its core, it's about creating meaningful connections that foster trust, respect, and understanding. It's the bridge that unites us, allowing ideas and emotions to flow in ways that build relationships rather than tear them down. Stoic philosophy sees communication as a vital tool for harmony, one that is deeply rooted in reason, virtue, and empathy. It's not about overpowering a conversation, proving you're right, or winning an argument. Instead, it's about speaking with clarity, intention, and sincerity, while listening with full attention and compassion. For a long time, I misunderstood this concept. I spoke freely, not thinking about how my words might be received. Often I let pride or the desire to assert my opinions dictate my tone. When others spoke, I wasn't truly listening. I was merely waiting for my turn to respond. I thought I was connecting, but in reality, I was creating distance. It wasn't until my relationships began to feel strained that I realized something needed to change. One pivotal moment still stands out. A colleague, someone I respected greatly, looked at me after a tense discussion and said, "You hear me, but you're not really listening." Those words cut deep because they were true. I had been so focused on defending my perspective that I failed to acknowledge theirs. This realization was humbling but necessary. It set me on a path to improve, to truly understand the art of communication. Turning to Stoic philosophy, I found invaluable guidance. Cato, one of the great Stoic figures, said, "Speak so that I can see what you are thinking." This principle emphasizes clarity and authenticity. It reminded me that words should not serve my ego, but should instead convey truth and foster understanding. From that point forward, I began practicing intentional communication. I chose my words carefully, ensuring they were thoughtful, concise, and purposeful. If you've ever found yourself in situations where you felt misunderstood, the Stoic approach can provide clarity. Before speaking, pause and reflect. Is this necessary? Will it serve the truth? Does it help to build understanding? When listening, go beyond simply hearing the words. Tune into the emotions, the intent, and the meaning behind them. Give your full presence to the person speaking, making them feel valued and heard. In the Stoic view, communication is a discipline, one that demands self-control and mindfulness. It's not about the need to win, but the desire to connect. By practicing these principles, you can transform your conversations into powerful tools for trust and understanding. Over time, this intentional approach to communication doesn't just improve your relationships, it fosters a deep sense of harmony and mutual respect that Stoicism teaches is essential to a fulfilling life. 2. Have anxiety under control. Anxiety is an unavoidable part of life, especially in moments when communication is at the forefront. It's that unsettling feeling when your voice trembles, your mind feels cluttered, and the weight of expectations looms heavy. Most of us experience this at one point or another. Those moments when fear grips us, leaving us questioning our ability to convey our thoughts effectively. But what if we didn't have to view anxiety as an enemy? What if instead we saw it as a companion, a guide urging us to focus and connect more deeply with others. Stoicism teaches us a profound truth. It's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. By shifting how we perceive anxiety, we can transform fear into confidence and uncertainty into opportunity. I rarely feel nervous speaking to friends, family, or a small group of people. These are safe spaces where judgment feels less intimidating and my confidence is steady. However, I still remember the first time I faced a larger audience, a presentation in front of a full lecture hall at university. The stakes felt higher. My heart pounded with such intensity that I could feel it in my throat. The words I had so meticulously rehearsed seemed to vanish, leaving a deafening silence in their place. The fear of failure loomed large, and the thought of being judged weighed me down. My anxiety wasn't just a mental state, it was physical. My body shaking, my palms sweating, and my breathing shallow. I felt small and powerless, standing alone in front of so many watchful eyes. That experience stayed with me long after the presentation ended. As I reflected on it, I realized that the fear I had felt wasn't entirely negative. It was my mind and body preparing me to face a significant challenge. Anxiety, I understood, wasn't something to fight or suppress. Instead, it was a signal, a reminder that what I was about to do mattered. This realization led me to Stoicism, where I discovered a new way of framing my experiences. The Stoics teach us to greet anxiety not as a threat, but as an old friend. When anxiety arrives, welcome it. Say, "Hello, anxiety, thank you for preparing me." This simple practice turns fear into something manageable and even helpful. Another crucial lesson from Stoicism is to focus on what we can control. Anxiety often pulls us into the realm of the uncontrollable, worrying about how others might judge us or what could go wrong. The Stoic approach, however, anchors us in the present. Instead of fixating on the audience's reactions, I learned to center my attention on what I could control: my breath, my tone, and my clarity. Grounding techniques, such as taking slow, deep breaths or counting backward, helped steady my mind and bring me back to the moment. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters." This mindset helped me reframe anxiety from a paralyzing fear into a manageable, even empowering energy. If you ever find yourself overwhelmed by anxiety in similar moments, remember that it doesn't have to hold you back. Pause and take a deep breath. Reframe your fear as excitement, a sign that you're about to do something meaningful. Approach your communication as if you're having a conversation, not giving a performance. Let the Stoic mindset guide your thoughts and actions, reminding you to focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. With practice, anxiety can become a tool to sharpen your focus, ground you in the present, and help you communicate with confidence and authenticity. It is not your enemy, it is your ally. 3. Ground rules. Let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is often the greatest enemy of progress. It tricks us into thinking that every word, every gesture must be flawless. But Stoicism teaches us a different perspective. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. When we release the weight of trying to be perfect, we find freedom to grow, to adapt, and to connect more authentically with others. I remember the second time I was tasked with presenting. This time, it was for a group project, and I couldn't let my team down. I approached it differently. More prepared, yes, but not obsessed with perfection. During the presentation, I stumbled over a sentence, forgetting a key detail. For a moment, I felt panic creeping in. But then I reminded myself of what I'd learned from my earlier experience. I smiled, acknowledged the slip, and moved on. The presentation wasn't perfect, but it was real. And to my surprise, it resonated. My group even thanked me later for how I handled the situation, saying it made our message feel genuine. This shift came from embracing a Stoic mindset. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." My mistake wasn't a barrier, it was an opportunity to learn, to refine, and to build resilience. Stoicism teaches us to approach challenges with adaptability and humility. Instead of seeing mistakes as failures, view them as stepping stones toward better communication. If you've ever hesitated to speak out of fear of making a mistake, remember this: communication is about connection, not performance. Be willing to improvise, to adapt to the moment. Allow yourself the grace to be imperfect. Let go of the pressure to craft the perfect sentence and focus instead on the sincerity of your message. When we embrace our imperfections, we don't just free ourselves, we create space for others to relate to us, to trust us, and to truly listen. Stoicism reminds us that progress is built on practice, not perfection. So dare to be imperfect, and you'll discover the power of authenticity. 4. Slow down and listen. In communication, the most overlooked skill is listening. We often focus so much on expressing ourselves that we forget the power of silence and attention. Stoic philosophy reminds us that true communication is not about how much you say, but how well you understand. Listening is not passive. It is an active effort to connect, to respect, and to create space for others. When I prepared for the second presentation with my group, I knew I needed to improve. The first time, my anxiety had driven me to talk too fast, trying to say everything at once, fearing silence would make me seem unprepared. This time, I made a conscious effort to slow down. Not just in my speaking, but in my entire approach. I focused on listening during group discussions, paying close attention to what my teammates wanted to convey. I realized that listening wasn't just about hearing words, it was about understanding emotions, concerns, and ideas. On presentation day, something unexpected happened. A question from the audience caught me off guard. My old instinct was to rush an answer to avoid awkward silence. But this time I paused, took a breath, and considered the question fully. Then, I responded calmly, making sure my answer aligned with the group's ideas. That simple pause made all the difference. Afterward, a teammate said, "You really made us look confident up there." Stoicism teaches us the value of slowing down. Seneca said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak." This wisdom applies to all forms of communication. When you listen, you show respect and create trust. It allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. If you often feel rushed in conversations, practice being present. Let the other person finish their thought without planning your reply. Pause before speaking to gather your thoughts. By slowing down, you give yourself the space to express clarity and create meaningful connections. In listening, you discover not only what others truly mean, but also the peace and confidence that comes with thoughtful engagement. It's a step toward harmony in all your conversations. 5. Storytelling. Problem, solution, benefits. Stories hold immense power in communication. They captivate the mind, stir emotions, and create connections. A well-told story doesn't just relay information, it transforms abstract concepts into relatable experiences. Stoicism teaches us to use stories with intention, crafting them as tools for understanding and growth. They are not just anecdotes. They are lessons and guides for navigating challenges and finding clarity. Imagine this. You're in a tense situation at work. A problem arises, and all eyes turn to you for a solution. The pressure mounts, and your first instinct is to react quickly, offering whatever comes to mind just to fill the silence. But what if, instead of rushing, you paused and framed your response with a story? A story that paints a clear picture of the problem, introduces a thoughtful solution, and highlights the benefits of the approach. This structure, problem, solution, benefits, can turn a chaotic moment into an opportunity to lead and inspire. Stoicism offers a roadmap for this. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on challenges as lessons rather than obstacles. He viewed problems as opportunities to demonstrate resilience and wisdom. When faced with a challenge, the Stoic approach begins with observation. What is the nature of this problem? Next comes thoughtful action, guided by reason rather than emotion. Finally, the focus shifts to the outcome, not perfection, but progress. For example, I once faced a significant miscommunication during a team project. Expectations weren't clear, and the results fell short. Instead of reacting with frustration, I gathered the team and told a simple story about a similar situation I'd encountered before, where clarity and collaboration turned things around. I shared how breaking the problem into smaller steps brought success. By the end, the team wasn't focused on blame. They were focused on solutions. If you find yourself in a high-pressure situation, remember this structure. First, outline the problem concisely. Next, offer a clear, actionable solution. Finally, highlight the benefits, not just for you, but for everyone involved. Using stories with intention is more than a communication tool. It's a way to build trust, inspire action, and create understanding. Stoicism teaches us to speak with purpose, and stories are one of the most powerful ways to achieve that. 6. Speak to be understood, not just heard. Communication is not simply about saying what's on your mind. It's about ensuring your message is received the way you intended. Clarity is the bridge between thought and understanding. Stoic philosophy reminds us that our words should serve a purpose, connecting with others and fostering mutual understanding. Yet, many of us fail to communicate effectively, not because we lack ideas, but because we don't know how to express them clearly. I think about Olivia, my colleague. She's incredibly smart, with a knack for solving problems in creative ways. However, Olivia struggled in team meetings. Despite her brilliance, her ideas were often misunderstood or dismissed. She spoke in a way that was too complex, using technical jargon and jumping between points without a clear structure. Over time, the misunderstandings made her withdraw, and she felt isolated in the workplace. One day, after another meeting where her suggestions went unnoticed, Olivia confided in me. She said, "I don't understand why no one listens. I know my ideas are good, but it's like they don't even try to hear me." I could see her frustration, but it was clear that the issue wasn't her intelligence, it was the way she presented her thoughts. Together, we worked on simplifying her language, focusing on the core message instead of trying to say everything at once. She learned to speak with clarity and purpose, prioritizing connection over complexity. The transformation was striking. In the next meeting, Olivia presented an idea using simple, relatable terms and a clear structure. The reaction was immediate. Her team listened, asked questions, and most importantly, understood her vision. Her confidence grew, and with it, her relationships with colleagues improved. The Stoics teach us that effective communication lies in simplicity and purpose. As Cato famously said, "Speak so that I can see what you are thinking." If you find yourself in Olivia's shoes, pause and ask, what is the essence of what I want to say? Use simple words to convey deep ideas. Focus on one point at a time, and ensure your tone invites understanding. By speaking to be understood, not just heard, you open the door to true connection. You make your ideas not just important, but impactful. Stoicism reminds us that clarity is not a compromise. It's the foundation of meaningful dialogue. 7. Intention creates tension. Every meaningful conversation begins with a clear intention. Without purpose, words drift aimlessly, failing to connect or inspire. Intention is what gives your message direction and energy, keeping your audience engaged and your dialogue meaningful. Stoicism reminds us that communication is not about speaking for the sake of it, it's about creating value, driven by focus and reason. Picture a group discussion at work. One person rambles, their words circling around without ever landing on a point. The audience grows restless, their focus waning. Then someone else speaks, calm, deliberate, with a clear objective. They outline a problem, propose a solution, and explain its benefits. Instantly, the energy in the room shifts. People lean in, engaged not just by the words, but by the speaker's clarity of purpose. This dynamic demonstrates how intention creates tension, the good kind. It captures attention and keeps it, creating a thread of curiosity that pulls your audience along. Without intention, your message lacks impact, but with it, every word carries weight. The Stoics teach us to approach every action, including communication, with purpose. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about aligning actions with reason, ensuring that everything we do serves a greater good. In conversations, this means knowing why you're speaking. Is it to inform, persuade, or connect? Whatever the reason, let it guide your words. If you find yourself drifting in dialogue, pause. Ask yourself, what is the outcome I want from this conversation? Let that intention shape your message. Avoid tangents that dilute your point. Instead, focus on what matters most to your audience. Intention not only keeps you grounded, but also prevents miscommunication and unnecessary conflict. Intention also requires listening. In a Stoic sense, dialogue is a two-way street, where understanding others is just as important as expressing yourself. By listening carefully, you can refine your message, ensuring it resonates with your audience. In every conversation, let your purpose shine. Speak with clarity, act with integrity, and listen with empathy. Intention creates tension, the kind that compels others to lean in, to think deeply, and to engage fully. Through focused communication, you not only deliver your message, but also embody the Stoic principles of reason and connection, leaving a lasting impact. 8. Be concise. Less is more. In communication, less is often more. The Stoics understood that words hold power, but only when used with precision and purpose. Too many words can dilute a message, leaving it lost in complexity. True clarity comes from brevity, saying just enough to make your point resonate without overwhelming your audience. Olivia's story illustrates this beautifully. When we first discussed her challenges, one key issue stood out. She tried to say too much all at once. Her ideas were brilliant, but buried under layers of unnecessary details and technical jargon. In her attempt to explain everything, she ended up saying nothing that truly stuck. Her audience tuned out, not because they didn't care, but because they couldn't follow the maze of her words. When Olivia shifted her approach, focusing on the essentials, everything changed. Instead of overloading her presentations with every detail, she distilled her ideas into clear, concise messages. By focusing on one core point at a time, she made her ideas not just easier to understand, but also more impactful. Her words carried weight because they were deliberate and purposeful. This shift aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle of economy in speech. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Let your words be few and your actions be significant." Communication isn't about showing off how much you know. It's about conveying the right idea at the right time in a way that others can grasp. This is not just a strategy, it's an art. If you've ever struggled to communicate effectively, remember Olivia's transformation. Start by asking yourself, what is the one thing I need to say? Focus on that and eliminate everything else that doesn't serve your message. Shorten your sentences, use simple language, and trust that clarity is more powerful than complexity. Being concise also shows respect for your audience's time and the value of your message. It forces you to refine your ideas, presenting them with confidence and precision. In the end, the fewer words you use, the more meaning they hold. Stoicism reminds us that true wisdom lies in simplicity. By speaking less, but with greater purpose, you create space for connection, understanding, and genuine impact. Let your words be few, but let them matter. 9. The power of nonverbal communication. Communication goes beyond words. Nonverbal cues, gestures, facial expressions, and posture carry as much, if not more, weight than the things we say. These silent signals often reveal our true intentions and emotions, making them a crucial part of meaningful interaction. Stoicism emphasizes self-awareness, urging us to align our actions with our words to ensure consistency and clarity in every exchange. Imagine a situation where you're trying to convey reassurance to a colleague during a tense meeting. You say, "Everything is under control," but your crossed arms and tense expression tell a different story. Even if your words are calm, your body language betrays your unease, leaving your colleague feeling uncertain. Contrast this with a scenario where you maintain an open posture, establish steady eye contact, and smile gently. The same words suddenly carry conviction and trust because your body supports your message. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of self-awareness. He believed that our outer demeanor should reflect our inner state of harmony. If we wish to project confidence and sincerity, we must embody these traits through our actions. Stoicism teaches that coherence between thought, speech, and behavior creates trust, not just in others, but within ourselves. When you communicate, pay attention to these key nonverbal elements. Stand or sit with an open posture. Avoid crossing your arms, which can signal defensiveness. Maintain eye contact, showing that you are present and engaged. Let your facial expressions align with your words. A warm smile can soften a difficult conversation, while a firm expression can underscore seriousness. Each gesture, each glance, adds depth to your message, transforming it from mere words into a full, resonant experience. If you find yourself in a moment where your nonverbal signals contradict your words, pause. Reflect on what your body is saying and adjust it to match your intentions. Remember, communication is not only about speaking, but also about being understood. As the Stoics teach, consistency in every aspect of our being creates clarity and trust. In mastering nonverbal communication, you amplify your presence, showing others not just what you think, but who you are. This alignment of words and actions builds bridges, fosters understanding, and reflects the harmony Stoicism seeks in all things. Communication is the cornerstone of human connection, and Stoic philosophy offers timeless wisdom to help us master it. Throughout this video, we've explored how clarity, emotional control, and intentional dialogue can transform not only the way we speak, but also how we connect with others. From managing anxiety to practicing active listening, from aligning actions with words to focusing on purpose, these lessons remind us that effective communication begins with self-awareness and a commitment to growth. But knowledge alone isn't enough. True mastery comes through practice. Start small. Focus on speaking with clarity in your daily conversations. Pause before reacting in moments of tension. Pay attention to your nonverbal cues, ensuring your posture, gestures, and tone match your intentions. And most importantly, reflect on your purpose each time you engage in dialogue. Communication, like any skill, improves with consistent effort. As the Stoics teach, progress is made one step at a time. Each conversation is an opportunity to apply these principles to refine your ability to connect with honesty, empathy, and purpose. Over time, these habits will not only make you a better communicator, but also a calmer, more grounded person. If this video resonates with you, we invite you to take the next step. Practice these lessons in your daily life, and let us know how they've helped you. Share your stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear how Stoicism has shaped your approach to communication. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Narratives Official for more insights into Stoic philosophy and practical wisdom for everyday life. Together, let's build a community dedicated to growth, understanding, and meaningful connection. Thank you for watching, and may your journey toward better communication bring peace and strength to every relationship.